there. Sorry for being like 2 minutes late. Okay. Had a few technical issues. Anyway, oh, hello, Black Dragon. How are you doing? Are you here for the woo, my dear, my friend? I'm so glad you are. I'm here for the woo too. And I would like to preface this by saying, of course, um, this is strictly from my what I see. You may see something different. Your experience may be different. And we have to say this is for entertainment. And we have to say that this has nothing to do with real life, which takes place outside the matrix. But actually, so far, everything I've said that is going to happen is happening or has happened. And I think I've got a pretty good score. Well, good morning, Marilena. Hi, sis. How you doing, sweetie? And Richard is here. Hello, Richard. Yes. And so I have a dream I had on hold to tell you about, but I don't think I made a video about it. I think I wanted to and then didn't. But it explains a lot. And it's an allegory, so it doesn't scare me too much. And a lot of times you'll find that your dreams will do that. I'm Deocean Swagger. I'm a clairvoyant shamanic medium, and I do all kinds of woo. I believe in almost every kind of woo there is, okay? So I believe that it has some basis, or else thousands and millions of people wouldn't be experiencing it if there was no basis. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that every single person who experiences something is crazy. Just no, I don't believe that. So I would also say, remember, it's important that we disclose to each other. We are disclosure right now, and we are forcing disclosure by disclosing to each other because we are making it impractical and maybe even annoying to keep the secret. So keep disclosing to each other as much as possible. Yeah. Hello, Ken. This is one thing we can do. And if we have to preface it by saying it's strictly for infotainment, no, entertainment, then we do that. What the heck? Okay. Now, since some of you are beginning to file in now, and sometimes I talk a little bit in the beginning just to make sure that people get a chance to find out that I'm on and come in, because I know how the algorithms are. Many of you have told me how much fun it is to try and find out when I'm on, which it's not that much fun, I guess. But I try to warn you when I can, when I know that it's going to work and I'm going to be on. I try to send out some kind of notification. So I do try. And this, like I said, I had a dream a while back. I wanted to bring it forth. For whatever reason, I don't think I ever did tell you. When I tell you, remember, dreams work quite often allegorically, and quite often my prophetic dreaming will be in allegorical form, so it doesn't scare me too much. That's the way it is with most people too. It will try and show you something that your brain does not want to run away from, okay? Because if it shows you something too scary, you're just going to go, and wake up, But I want you to know what I know, because I promised. If I know something, you guys are going to know. Okay, you guys are going to find out. That's part of my promise. If I know something about what's going on, or even suspect it, I'm going to tell you. Okay, Hey, Denali, how you doing? Denali, Denali, Denali is good enough for me. um. Anyway, okay, this is kind of important. Remember that from my experience, wow, I've had so many ways that I've been communicated with. You will be contacted in your dreams if you're at all accessible. Important to know. So if you've had some dreams that you feel are completely important, like, but you'll wake up thinking, oh my God, this is an important one. This isn't personal. This is for the world. You're probably right. Okay. So please bring it forth when you can, because this is going to be the way that we're communicated with a lot. It's just the easiest way to go. We don't have as many filters on our dreams. Our, ego is not as much in the way. That's why it's easier to get in touch through our dreams. So, or when we meditate, we're taking some of the barriers away. So that's just to help you out there and to encourage you to come forth with your own experiences and your own disclosure. So, with that, I'm going to start the dream. Here we go. I'm in some kind of a vehicle. It's some kind of a public transportation vehicle, I feel. It looks a bit like a PARD bus, actually. It looks a little bit like the inside of a bus or a train or something when we used to take the rapid transit up to Cleveland. It kind of looks a bit like that. But anyway, it's public transportation. Might look a little bit like a subway, something like that. But this is flying through the air because I can see clouds and stuff out there. There's a sky out there. There's a couple across from me sitting in the seats. Now, the seats are facing each other, sort of like the first seat in some public buses that are reserved for elderly and handicapped people. Okay, so they're facing each other. And that is I think, so you can see out the window as well, because in my mind, we have been taking this ride, and it's like a ride in a theme park where you're going through these experiences that look very scary, but they're all real only in the sense that actors are playing. They're completely contrived. Okay. And I'm thinking back on the journey, thinking, well, is that it now? Is that the end? And as I'm wondering that, is the ride over? Is what I'm wondering while I'm sitting there. Is this ride just about over now? We've had a lot of adventure. Is it done? Is it over? And the couple across from me, I see in the window behind them, somebody has somehow attached to the side of this vehicle that is supposedly up in the air somewhere in the sky. And they're trying to pry the window open and get in. And I, motion to the couple across from me, hey, look behind you. Somebody's trying to get in. And he looks behind him, the guy, there's a guy and a girl, and they look like they're a couple. And they kind of look behind him, and he goes, oh, and then bangs on the window. And the person flies off. They're gone. And I said, okay, is that the end now? I'm thinking to myself, or maybe I even say to them, I wonder if that's the end now. Well, like a few moments later, the person is back at the window, somehow crawling up to the window, trying to pry it open, but this time they're a zombie. Okay. Now, the kind of funny sideline is the person who played Tasha Yar in Star Trek, The Next Gen, is what this woman looks like. Okay. Only when she comes back as a zombie, it's kind of funny. I don't know. Anyway, that's who was playing the part at that time in my dream for whatever reason. And so I motioned again, and I'm there, but they're back. And the guy turns around, and this time the zombie's almost getting that window open, and he just turns around and whack, and the zombie flies off too. And I'm thinking, okay, now that's got to be the end, right? So I look up front where the pilot, the bus driver, the whatever should be, right? And nothing's there, just the front of the ship or whatever we're in, just the front of the vehicle. And I can see in the front window that we're coming to the exit. We're coming to the bay. We're coming into the bay, and we're going to hit it, but we're coming in very fast. And I wonder to myself, are we coming in a little fast? Are we going to stop, or are we going to crash right through this thing? I mean, we're coming in pretty hot here. And just as I'm thinking that, we hit the bay, and it's like we hit the tracks, and it's like we're on tracks again. And yet we're going so fast, it looks like we're going to crash right through the back of whatever this is. But instead we go up in the air, and it's like a boom and an up in the air. And then as we start to come down, the view changes completely. I'm standing in a plaza on a nice warm summer day, right? And I'm watching this thing go up in the air, go up this plastic inside this sort of plastic, it looks like a display thing for, there's this product called Hard as Nails that is a nail polish that's supposed to harden your nails. And I think that's actually kind of funny too. It's kind of a pun, I think, because the trip has been hard as nails, right? And you have to be tough as nails to go through all of that we've gone through. We've had to be very tough. So it is what's really coming down, is this box with the nail polish Hard as Nails in it. And as I stand there, I look at this and I say to myself, it's all a display. Oh my gosh, we were never in there. Have I always been just standing here outside? What? I don't understand, and I had to think about it a minute. How is it that I thought I was in there? And I just look at it. It is a display outside a beauty supply shop. And it looks a lot like where I'm standing is a plaza that's actually near here. And I'm looking at kind of like the corner of it and seeing this display there. And I'm like, doggone, that was so real. Okay, breaking this dream down. I think some of you can already break it down. I don't think I'm going to have to over explain here what this looks to be meaning. Yeah, the transporters, the Andromeda ships. Yeah. The Black Goo killed Yar. Yeah, that's true. In the show, the Black Goo got her. That's true. Oh, you just unlocked another level of this dream. Yes, you did. 100%. That's why it was Tasha Yar presenting the threat. Black Goo controlled people. Thank you. That's why I have to bring it to you. That's why I knew that if I didn't bring it up, and I'm pretty sure I didn't do this, if I didn't bring it up, I had to bring it up because I knew you'd probably see even more than I see in this. You know, great minds put them together. Anyway, that's true. And what have we been talking about all this time? Hmm, what can we relate this to? Anyway, wow, even more than I thought. So, what can we relate this to? First of all, I referred to this as the e-ticket ride, which back in the old days, that meant if you were in Disneyland, it was one of the more exciting rides. It was one of the pricier ones that you had to stand in line for longer. And that may all be true as well, because we're told that people actually stand in line to get in here to be a part of this ride. So there is oh, well, thank you, Black Dragon, for telling me that. Yeah, it's interesting because first of all, I have been calling it an e-ticket ride. It is supposedly one of the most exciting rides in the universe right now. Um, or at least that's what we're being told. Everybody's watching. And um, that's not me just being told that's been we've been hearing that for quite some time. But we've also been besieged with all kinds of adventure, which I saw as being in the past. And I think really viewing it in that way is maybe the easy way to view it is we have been on quite a ride. Well, we have. Quite exciting, but it's all been staged. All of it. None of it's really real. We're actually not in there where we thought we were ever. We really never were, right? Just somehow we thought we were in. Well, that is Matrix theory, basically. And the ride is part of the Matrix experience, I think. That would kind of seem about right. And then the person threat shows up, and then the zombie threat shows up. And I don't think I have to really explain that because we're all saying, okay, is it over now? Or is it ever going to be over? You know, we've had a lot of adventure now. We're ready to have a little less adventure, right? But when I look, there's no pilot. This is all on automatic, I think, unless you've got another view of that. Yes, we live in a world of illusions. So it's almost as if this was just an automated ride, just like the Disney rides are. And it's interesting that comes up too, because Disney's been coming up in the news lately too. You see? And this dream happened before some of the Disney scandal stuff. So, like I said, I'm looking up front, and it looks like we're coming in very fast. And I've been hearing that, and people who are doing tarot readings and people who are doing other readings say it's going to go faster now. We've hit a crucial time now. What would you call it, the 100th monkey or whatever. We're in a time now where it can happen faster. The conditions have been met, and now things can happen much faster than they were happening before. And so, now we're on the home stretch for real, and we're almost in into the gate and back on track, on the track. Okay, I think being on the track had something to do with it too. And so one of the messages I got is remember, when we fly up in the air, it looks really scary. I mean, remember, we're heading in there. There's no pilot. Looks like we're heading in there really fast, and we could crash all the way back through the back of this as we're coming in so fast. It's like, yikes. Okay, kind of scary. And we go up in the air, right? And as we start to come down from it, all of a sudden, realize I'm not there at all. It's a nice summer day, and I'm in absolutely no danger. I'm completely comfortable. Can't be much plainer than that. And I look at it and see that it was all a display. It was just a display. Even the name, hard as nails. Interesting. So the time that we're in right now is like that. And we might see that zombie Yar come back, okay? As we're sitting here wondering if that the end, is that the end? It's going to look like it's the end, but is it going to be the end? Is it really going to be the end, though? Was this just, look kind of scary? It's going to look kind of scary because it looked kind of scary there at the end. It's like, oh my gosh, are we going to crash right through the building? But we didn't. And then it's all up in the air with kind of a boom. The other thing I'm seeing, and I want to bring this in too, and I wrote a piece about this and now I can't find it. But the other imagery I'm seeing is, and this may give us some timing. The other imagery I see is fireworks. And it is during the summer that the US at least has fireworks displays. And what I'm being shown is we'll know the same way we know the finale of a fireworks show. And how is that? We know it's the finale because everything coming up at once. They shoot everything into the air. They really throw in the kitchen sink for that finale. And so everything that has been coming up for the last few years to scare the out of us is going to be thrown into that display and thrown right up in the air where we can see it. And it's like, wow, and ooh, what a spectacle. And it's going to be quite a spectacle. So everything that we've been threatened with for all these years, they're going to throw it all in. And they have. It has all been thrown in. Think about it. Everything from meteors to murder hornets to every time. I was recounting all the things. Oh, let me see. How many other 1,000 ways do they think we're telling us we're going to all die? No, nuclear war, they trotted that one out again. Race wars, they trotted that one out again. It's like it's all reruns, man, but it's all being thrown together to make it much more exciting. An exciting conclusion, the big finale. Okay, finale and Denali run, right, princess? Yes. Yes. I think it is something that starts. I'm feeling like it's going to start maybe as early as June. I guess it could start a little earlier. It might even start by the end of the month. That happened last time. I said it looks like June, but actually we saw the very underpinnings of it in the end of May. So last time I said something was going to happen in June, but it could be earlier. We saw the onset actually at the end of May, or the foreshadowing of it. So it could be by the end of this month that we know what this is going to be. But CERN, well, could be. But CERN is also part of the matrix. So what I can say, and what I feel very strongly, what it feels like to me is this bit about it coming really fast and being automated. It's sort of like it's on its course now, and nobody's going to stop that. It's on its course, and getting back on the tracks is we're back on track, and there ain't nothing going to stop it. It's coming in, it's coming fast. And yes, this is going to be the end of the ride. There was kind of a boom at the end as we hit the track and hit the part that's sort of like an L that went up in the air. And then we come down safely though, and we're outside. We're outside looking in. We're outside of the experience looking in, or at least I am, remembering and thinking and kind of wondering to ourselves, wait a minute, what am I doing? It's just a beautiful summer day. I was never in any danger. Wow, that seems so real. Oh, that was a pretty good show. Yeah, that was a good show. Okay. I'm waiting to hear what you guys think. I'm feeling this will probably start in June, but maybe earlier. Um, I'm feeling that it'll be scary. There'll be scary things happening. For those of us who aren't in the know, it'll be real scary. I think one of the reasons it'll be real scary is because that's how more people wake up, because these sleepers are really, really hard sleepers. I mean, if what hasn't happened already, if what's happened already hasn't woke you up, you really under, you know. That's almost, I get the impression of like a drugged sleep, and we all know what I mean by that, right? So yeah, it's almost like people are hypnotized, right? To sleep, to stay asleep. So what is going to shake them out? It's going to have to be extreme. It's going to have to be scary, probably. I can see that. And so, of course, yeah, they could have another CERN event. Yeah. It looks like we're going to have rolling blackouts. I get that feeling. And I'm supposed to tell you to store up some water. I don't think it'll last more than a couple of weeks or so, if that long. And it won't be all over. I mean, some places will be harder hit than others. Some places will be devastated. It'll look like the end of the world. To the sheep, it will definitely look like the end of the world. To them, it'll be, oh my God, this can't be happening. This can't possibly be happening. Some of them will probably they'll lose it. Okay, probably. Um, oh my gosh. That's a sad dream, Black. I've had ones like that too, though. I asked, though, you got to remember, oh, well, I didn't say that. I had asked for a dream that didn't suck, please. Because for a long time, I just had dreams that just sucked. I said, can't I have a good one that doesn't suck? Well, this one didn't suck. It was kind of scary in a way, not too scary though, but it at least didn't suck, you know. So I got my request, Maybe you need to ask for that. Can you please give me some dreams can you please put it in a way that it doesn't suck? No, that it's not so eh, that I actually want to remember this dream instead of going, "Ugh." But yeah, I had dreams like that. I had them. And I mostly only tell my friends dreams like that so I can get them the heck out of my head. And thank you, any and all who ever listened to those dreams, because some of them are pretty scary. I could tell you some of them, but they're kind of, they were kind of like that. People dying. There were many dreams where people were dying or about to die. And I think that was part of me working in my sleep. And during the time when we're dreaming, a lot of us do other work. We are absent here because we're needed somewhere else. And sometimes I even get confirmation in the news. So one of them I got confirmation that really got to me was the woman where I had the dream, it seemed like twice, where I was with this woman. We were crouched down because there was a pressure on our back. It was like there was something against our back. We couldn't even sit up straight. Our nose was very close to the ground. And I said we could sing to keep our mind off of our circumstances here. And the woman across from me said yes until the water comes. And I said yes until the water comes. And then I saw a news story of a woman that was trapped under some rubble who they didn't think they could get her out without crushing her. So they thought it was more humane to let her drown because the place was going to be flooded soon. They knew this because of the weather or something. And I think it was the weather was coming up and they knew this was going to flood as soon as that happened. And they figured it was better to let her pass on from drowning than from being crushed to death. And that would be a hell of a decision to make. If you ask me, I wouldn't want to be the one trying to figure that out. However, I think it would be, if it would have been me in there rather than wait for my death, I would rather have just been crushed and go and leave my body. Just go, you know? But maybe it wasn't even that simple. I don't know. I'd rather it go fast. Just let me out of here, you know? But maybe, Black, maybe that person needed you, whoever that was. Yeah. So I don't know. Or could it be that he was a part of you that you had to relinquish? That's another possibility. That he represented some part of you that was like that agent and something that was dying in your life. Yeah. So I'm willing to listen to any of your CERN. Okay, so Denali came up with CERN. Then Denali also came up with she kept getting July. I think they're going to try and hit us up with nuclear threat again. That's probably part of it. I also have a feeling they're going to pull the alien invasion thing, which is not really going to be an alien invasion. I get an impression that aliens are going to be in the alien angle is going to be involved. And this is where you're going to need your discernment, and I hope you've been practicing. Because I was told a long time ago, you got to learn that your eyes can be deceived, your ears can be deceived, but the energy field, what the energy field is like, that is very hard to fake. You can fake everything else, but you can't fake the energy field. So how does it feel? And use discernment. And I feel that what is going to happen, and really, if it doesn't happen this summer, I'm going to be really disappointed now. But I think at the very least, the setup to it is going to happen, but I think it's going to be it. I think we're really going there this time. It's just a thought, my belief. You don't have to believe me, but I've been right about most of this stuff. And I'm getting it just like a fireworks display. We'll be like, ooh, ah, wow, wow, boom, bang. And then we'll stand there for a minute saying, oh, wow, that must be it. It's over. Time to go home. And at that point, it's now time to go home. The show's over. So I think there will be a very definitive marker that will let us know that the show is truly over. For most fireworks displays, it's that loud bang at the end, which was at the end of my dream too. It's like there was a bang as we got back on the track and looked like we were going to hit the back of the building. Turns out that was also part of the display. Certain doom and destruction was part of the display. So that loud boom at the end will be part of the display. And part of our job will be to remember that and not flip out. Now, during these events, there may be shortages. Probably there will be. They're already setting that up. They're setting it up. Now, this is interesting. There are people that have been asking about this, about the food shortages and the poultry industry and the meat industry and all that. And the people that are working in the meat industry are coming back and saying, we haven't seen this, though. We haven't heard from the supply and demand end. We haven't heard or seen any of these factories burning down. So the pictures you're seeing were probably taken, the videos you were seeing were probably taken at another time. And they're probably footage from another time. And the poultry, they're not seeing any slowdown in that either, in processing poultry. So where's this food going? It's got to be going somewhere. Oh no, there's no shortage. Food is going somewhere. But by denying it on your shelves, the prices can be artificially inflated. And by making gasoline go way up, more people are going to be staying home. And why do we want people staying home? However, I got to tell you. Oh, hi, Crystal. Hi. Yeah, Denali, definitely. Yeah, we need to be here for this. Yeah, I wouldn't miss this. This is the stunning conclusion. Yes, that was next thing. Interestingly enough, Crystal, next thing I was going to mention. I feel like this end is all being orchestrated. It's all a display, and I feel like this is here so the rest of us wake the freak up. Okay? And I feel the same way. The cabal's been pretty much routed. They're gone. I don't know if we can say cabal, but we can say that because this is only for entertainment purposes, right? This has nothing to do with the real world, which takes place outside the Matrix, and there it's a fine summer day, and we were never in any danger, right? So, yeah, I ain't going for the lab-grown meat either. Not me. Oh, I understand, Crystal. Okay. Well, we can set up a show for you to come in and talk about it if you'd like. If you want to come in and talk about it, we can get a time. Get with me about a time, and we'll let you tell us what you know. They want to replace real meat and food with lab grown. Yeah, that'd be another reason. It's all profit. But you know what? It's so obvious to me. This is so obvious to me. The smarter ones, just like I've been saying for a while, the smarter ones are the dark ones. They're gone. They're off planet already. They took off a while back. Now the less smart ones, and that's kind of obvious, isn't it? We have a planetary configuration happening with Pluto. Pluto, the cosmic cop, who's coming and bringing all this stuff. I mean, he's doing his investigation. Oh, that could be the dying FBI agent. He is, one of his images is a dead police officer, oddly enough. Pluto is a weird one, okay? Yeah, I've heard that before. One of the ways he shows up sometimes is like a dead police officer. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I'm remembering that from. I hear that. I don't know. Some class on astrology. Anyway, he's going to bring everything up. Everything's going to come to light. And he's going to be here for 2.5 years. The other thing that's happening, oh, hi, Pam. Yeah, how you doing? Hey, Lewis. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, by the way. Yes, to all. I forgot all about it. Oh, I forgot all about Mother's Day, but happy Mother's Day to you all. And yeah, so we've got a planetary configuration that's going to help us out with this that we've been waiting for. And I think this is what we've been waiting for. And I think one of the reasons we keep getting told it's going to be this time and that time is to actually scare the bad guys. Is like, oh my God, this is it, and maybe to throw them off, or maybe to wake people up, or what? Who knows? It's just at this time it sure feels, and usually I'm there like, I don't know, guys, I'm not really sure about this, but this, I'm pretty sure about this. I'm like 80 to 90% sure that this is what's really going to happen this time. So we have kind of a loose time frame. Now, the interesting part is on the 10th, we also have Mercury retrograde. We're in the shadow of it right now. And if you don't understand Mercury retrograde, please refer to my video on my channel here. It's in my archives. I have a video about what Mercury retrograde is all about. But basically the planet of communication, finance, and travel. When it goes retrograde, we switch from a strictly physical to a more spiritual experience of what Mercury means. Okay, so and so for people who are very involved in the mundane, earthly, 3D aspects of Mercury, who are really, really involved in finance, transportation, and travel, it's a hard time. Things go wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Well, guess what? The Dark Cats, what are they involved in? What is the end all and be all? Power, money, transportation, and stuff, money, and all that, communication. They got their fingers in all that. So what is Mercury gonna do? Oh, he's the trickster. Remember, I call him the little Heyoka, the little contrary, when he's dancing backwards. The little contrary pulls tricks. But I think this time he's definitely gonna pull tricks on the Dark Hats. Maybe on some of the Light Hats too. I mean, he might be equal opportunity about it. But I think he's gonna set up for the Big Bang to happen. And by screwing everything up, by screwing a bunch of stuff up in a funny way, because he has a sense of humor. He has a wicked sense of humor. And so we can look for things to get screwed up in a kind of and sometimes maybe darkly funny way, but yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we want to see that. I'm sure we all want to see that. Um, Algo Algo Shaw. Oh, I don't know who that is, Lewis, but okay. Well, that's fine, Pam. Um, oh, yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, your bear wanted attention. Ocean, I think you nailed my dream. I had just felt energy when you mentioned it. Thank you. I've gotten over the years pretty good at dream interp. Um, Lewis gets visits from bears. His totem, his animal totems visit him very often. So, okay. I think I've told you the stuff that I must tell you, that I feel that I must tell you because it's part of my agreement and my promise is that as I find things out, I will inform you. I am not the only one now getting all this. I listen to other readers too. I listen to channels, but I do with a grain of salt. I listen to other readers with a grain of salt once again, because a lot of them are, I think, getting part of it or getting it through their filters or getting, but it doesn't quite match. But the ones that there are some that match perfectly what I'm getting. So I really pay attention to those. And yes, and good luck with your channel. Mm-hmm. Oh, it wasn't an earthquake, Lewis. Well, I should hope not. Not yet. I hope we don't get a whole bunch of earthquakes and stuff, although it could happen. We could get some earthquakes in places. It looks like everything's going to get pulled out of the bag and shot up into the air. Yeah. So, run it up the flagpole and see who salutes it. Yeah, I just heard that. Just like an idea at a business meeting. How ridiculous. Wow. Yeah, that's true, Denali. It's one of the benefits of meditating is you get answers. You get more answers that way. And it looks like things are manifesting quickly. I really had some things recently. I talked about that automatic cat box, which seems kind of silly. It's actually a long time in the making because I was looking at them years ago. Didn't think I could afford them. But I got a new attitude thinking, well, somehow I'll save up for one because I want one and I don't want to have to deal with it, but for a month at a time. I don't want to have to scoop the cat box. Okay, that sounds great. Let's just save up for it. It's not impossible because they're like 250 some dollars or something. I'm just thinking that's pricey. But I got one for $15 and then another $10 investment, and there you go. I had one. Now I got one. Works fine. Uh, you should have heard the drama from the cat, from Cowboy. Oh my God, drama, drama, drama. At first, but now he loves it. So anyway, um, yeah, teddy bears, big teddy bears, Lewis. Oh, and then Ollie says, of course, they tell me build it and they will come. And I say back to them, bring me the funds and I'll build it to spec, baby. I know. I say the same thing. It's like, yeah, you show me where the money's coming from and the resources. Just show, and not even the money. Probably we should say, where are those resources then? I'm expecting the resources to come up then. Where are they? It's maybe a better way of asking because you're saying, okay, where are they? Rather than because actually they're here. Everything's here already. We just we got to get ourselves in the mindset where we can find it. It's like almost like a puzzle game. It's here. It's here somewhere. It'll show up when you're looking at it the right way. Because as soon as I looked at it like, well, it's not impossible that I would get one of these. I could find one somewhere. I could save up for it. I could, as soon as I had this more, I can do that. I can have that. As soon as I got that attitude, then the thing showed right up. And that may be all of life. I mean, there have been a lot of things like that. When I get in my mind, well, it's not impossible that it shows up. It could actually. I mean, a lot of weird things happen in this life. Anything could happen, right? Anything. Hmm? Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Ah, well, you're welcome, Black Dragon. I'm pretty good with dreams because I've had to deal with them a long time. My father also had prophetic dreams. And yes, even about the stock market. Yes. And his friends benefited, unfortunately, more than he did. His friends did benefit from the stock market, from his dreams, because either a lot of times he either couldn't quite interpret them right, or he didn't have the funds to invest. But he did actually make a hit on the stock market once for one of his friends. Um, and it might have been more times than that. I don't know. But my dad had paranormal experiences all the time. So I didn't stand a chance of being normal. Um, Thank you, Crystal, because it is natural. It's completely natural. This is my natural color, my natural texture, and everything. Um, and probably I'll leave it this way a while before I do anything different with it, although I might lighten it a little for summer. Um, Money is a tool, and I love tools. Yes, me too. I love tools. I love them. Oh, yeah, that's good, Denali Princess. You point and say, I want that. That is a good point. You could do that. Totally. I had a funny dream about pushing the wrong button and a radiation alarm sounded. Oh, that's another thing. We may get the air raid alert sirens going off. Okay? That's something that came up somewhere else, I think. We may get it's going to look scary. Okay? It's going to look like the end of the world. Well, it is in a way the end of the world. It's just the end of the world that we didn't like that well anyway. It's the end of the story. Oh, he suggested interpreting the dream like you're describing every single thing in the dream to a 5-year-old. Yes. Oh, well, I'm not talking down. I'm just trying to um, bring it up like how dreams talk to us. Because I think sometimes when we talk about these things, we can also learn about how these functions work, you know? I mean, I learned a lot by watching others go through their stuff, you know? My dad and others with their dreams and helping them with their dreams, not just my own. They see them, they would see things through their filter, and I would see things through my filter. A lot of times, though, it's hard to see the meaning of your own dream because you're too close and it seems too personal. Sometimes not personal, sometimes it is. I feel that this one was for everybody, though. Some of them just feel like they're for everybody, the world at large, and not just me. See, I had a recent dream that felt completely personal, but maybe not. And I'll tell you the basic gist of it is I was a vendor at some kind of an outdoor market, and I left my table for a minute, and when I came back, somebody had taken it over and was selling my stuff as if it was theirs. And I said, and I said to them something to the effect of, "What do you mean by doing this? This is really cruel. You know, I'm a really nice person. I'm good to people. If you needed some help, you could have gotten some help from me. Why are you even doing this? This is terrible." You know, so I was standing up for myself in my dream. And I'm not sure what it was all about, but that's most of it. That seemed to be the main gist of it. So, whatever that was about, is somebody taking over something that's mine and selling it as theirs, perhaps? And would I be kind of outraged by that? Well, yeah. I mean, I've been a vendor many times at places, and you don't just come up to somebody's table and start selling their shit and pocketing the money. So, yeah, I'd be upset with that. I don't know. Could it be something about the information I give? I don't know. Selling it as their own? I don't know. I know that I don't charge for this. Ah, yes. I don't even have enough people yet to get paid for commercials or anything. This isn't monetized at all. Mm-hmm. Keep Lewis away from buttons. Ah, yeah. Radiation button. Oh, yeah, that could be another one. Right. If there's a train in your dream, it's a vehicle, yeah, that gets you from one place to another. Just like what was happening in my dream, it was a vehicle. And the fact that it was flying through the air, not on the ground, may have some meaning too. I would see sky behind it, and that it wasn't running on a track. It wasn't on track, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it was up in the air because things are very up in the air. I don't know. That could be too. Dreams frequently use puns. When you're interpreting a dream, see if there are any puns there. Our psyches just love puns. It just loves puns. So look at it and see if there are any puns in your dream, and that may give you an idea. Even if they're kind of dark ones sometimes. And Black Dragon says, my father was a psychic and read dreams, palms, cards, tea, leaves, and you have problems with understanding emotions. Alexithymia, an empathic who can't understand emotions. Oh, that is quite a conundrum, isn't it? You're working on credit right now for the universe. Interesting way of thinking of it. They've racked up quite a bill. I know what you mean, Denali. I know what you mean. You guys, you need to come forward with a little bit of, cash. Anyway, Leo Medic back to the earth now. Hey, Leo! Hey, how you doing? How you guys doing? Came in from the homestead. Hi. I hope your homestead is doing just great. And Lou says, on Friday, a ghost lady screamed in my ear about going inside a haunted maze and had to put the Dobermans down before that. That sounds like kind of a scary one. A ghost lady screaming in your ear while you're dreaming about a haunted maze. Well, look at whatever is in your life that's kind of maze-like right now. Mm-hmm. And Dobermans obviously means some kind of protection. At least that's what I would think. Or were you dreaming about Dogman? So I know you're one of those cryptid types. Could it have something to do with the Dogman? Here's another thing. I think the Sasquatch are going to be getting in touch with us. Maybe all of us. I think they're already in touch with me. I keep feeling that it is a female frequency that I'm getting from them. And I'm hearing from Robin McCrae, they have a matriarch. Do all of the tribes have a matriarch? Maybe not. I don't know. But apparently some of them do. And quite possibly, I don't know, could even be the same matriarch that I'm picking up. And it could be why she's talking to women. Because if you come from a matriarchy, you'd be more inclined to talk to women to get things done. You'd be expecting the women to get things done, and probably you wouldn't be that far off either in a lot of cases. Baby chick hacking. Oh, hatching. Yes. Busy. Yeah. Dogman and too big. Rita, your own little Sasquatch. Scratch Rita behind the ears for me. Have you asked cards if you're going to be moving in the next 2 years? And you know what? We could. I haven't, but we could. And by the way, some of this I checked out with my pendulum that I told you before I told you. I checked it out with the pendulum. And actually, pendulum agrees with my interpretation. So if it's really happening, probably going to be just just that way. Although I will, although I might be a little disappointed if it doesn't happen that way, I will understand. Just as long as we are progressing, I will be fine. Wait a minute, what's trying to come out? Vision Quest, seeking and finding. Does this mean I might get my Earth ship? As soon as I feel that it's actually possible and I really want it, move. Vision Quest means you get what you're seeking. You find what you're seeking. So what am I really seeking? No, I realize when I look at the whole Earthship thing, what am I really seeking? I'm seeking a community. I'm seeking protection. I'm seeking security. I'm seeking living in harmony with the earth. I'm all of those things that Earthship community means to me. That's what I'm truly seeking. And I realized that rather than asking for an Earthship community or even an intentional community, what can I have? Can I imagine that I could ever be in a situation, in a place that would fulfill all those requirements? And I would say, yes, I think I can. Some kind of sustainable living environment that, doesn't pollute, that's in harmony with the earth. And the card that was right next to it, the arrow, the truth is protection. Yeah. The truth. Interesting, isn't it? Now let's cut them and see what they say. Let's do some shuffling. Am I going to move sometime within the next 2 years? And the first card is drum, timing. Second card is the whirling rainbow. Interesting, in the south. The west card is stone people. Records and knowing revealed, and can sometimes be legal things happening. Storyteller, expansion. And the middle card is War Bonnet, advancement. I would say it's a matter of timing, but yes, according to my own internal rhythms, that's what the drum is. The whirling rainbow is growth from the center out, yes. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think of the stone people, but that's records and knowing revealed. Maybe something is already there for me, but I don't know yet. Almost look like something's there already. Something already exists like that for me, but I don't know it yet. Timing, but I will in time. Wait a minute, yes, the drum across from that, yes, I will know in time what that's about. And it has to do with expansion and talking the storyteller, like what I'm doing right now. This would be part of the storyteller. This would count as part of that. And expansion and unity and wholeness achieved. It almost sounds like what I'm doing right now is expansion. It's storytelling. Maybe somebody I meet through the channels in a chat room somewhere, maybe even on this show, is going to have information about this. And it looks like probably, yes, I am going to be moving. I'm going to have another layer of cards here in a minute, but War Bonnet there in the middle is advancement. And that I almost think, you know what? I'm going to let you know. This December, I will be 65. I know, I don't look it. Everybody thinks I'm about 20 years younger than I am. But I am going to be about 60. I'm going to be 65 in December. That is advancement. And that would make me definitely in the realm of an elder. And a lot of things will be coming open to me at that time that weren't open before, although I've got to study it more. Messing with his friend's tarot cards when he knows not. Ah, confirming what you saw. Yeah, you see yourself doing something. Yeah. Well, I think you are destined for big things tonight. Um, I think all of us in our way are have a destiny that we will be fulfilling. Let's see. And Black Dragon says Dobermans are protectors. Maybe putting down the Doberman is saying letting your defense down. Lou said he used to have ghost pit bulls protecting him. That's nice to have. And those pit bulls were killed during dogfights in the backyard, according to flat history told by my neighbors. What? So you had ghost bulls who actually were pit bulls that were killed in your backyard. They decided they wanted to protect you. Well, that's very sweet, isn't it? You know, people misunderstand pit bulls. They're overgrown lap dogs. Really, if they're not trained to fight or made to fight, they are such sweet puppies. They just want to be a big puppy and sit all over your lap and you won't be able to move. But really, they are sweet dogs when they're not mistreated. Uh, sad when I hear those stories. It's sad the way people treat them. Just the whole thing. But let's not think of that. We've got to ask, am I going to be moving in the next 2 years? This is the next layer of cards coming in now. Tell me about people in the situation. People in the situation. The first one is a spider. And when I see a spider, I see the web. I see the internet once again. Here we go. I think it's going to have something to do with the internet. Looking at a spider's web, the interwebs. Quite often I get that from them. Eight, sometimes it means eight because they have 8 legs. They kind of are shaped like a figure eight. Spider catches what it needs with what it builds, what it makes, what it creates, and it creates a beautiful web, actually. Spider webs are quite beautiful. I think that's really my card for internet. And that is right across from Stone People Records. I'm going to meet somebody on the internet. It's going to be, and that's right on top of drum timing. Yeah, it's going to be somebody almost definitely that either I know now on the internet or I will know and meet on the internet that's going to bring this about. The squirrel says, be prepared. And spider is in the direction of east, which is spring. The summer says be prepared. So I am to prepare for this eventuality. That's laying right on top of Unity and Holmes. So, and right across from Expansion. The Coyote has been coming up a lot. And I think the Coyote has a lot to do with Mercury retrograde. Yes, it does. Yep. And the Heyoka card also. Mercury retrograde. Okay, so the Coyote is over in the west, which is fall, autumn, and also where the flow is, water, Gulf streams. So in some way, shape, or form, things are not the way they seem and will probably work out in a very humorous way. So there will probably be humor attached to this. Or maybe the person involved is somebody who's really funny and maybe a trickster type person, kind of. Reading cards is a lot like reading dreams. Reading is just, hey, James, how are you doing? Hey, John, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. So really, I have a feeling that that's saying this person online that I know is maybe kind of a funny person who likes jokes. And maybe, and also that things are not as they seem. I got the blank card here, but this is actually the card that is for an animal that they didn't have in the deck, the bumblebee. And the thing about bumblebees is they're big and fuzzy and they're really not very dangerous. Okay. They do the same work that other bees do, except they do it in maybe a little klutzier way. But as most of you probably have noticed, you can bop a bumblebee and they'll just kind of bounce and they won't try to sting you most of the time. They are very, very docile. Okay, so they're not a scary bee at all. Okay, they're and the other thing is that scientists for a long time couldn't figure out how they were flying with such a big body on little tiny wings. But so it looked magical actually. So this is also my card for something miraculous happens. Something that shouldn't be able to happen, but somehow does. Anyway, now they find, or now they say, it's because bees flap. It's like a hummingbird. It's because they flap their wings so fast. But still, what it stands for is something beyond the understanding of science. This is my card for something that goes beyond current scientific understanding, which is a pretty broad field in my opinion. There's a lot of things science really doesn't understand. I'm sorry. A lot of things to learn yet, guys. Sorry. You by no means have you got it pinned down. Yes. Well, good for you, Black Dragon. That's a very good trait to have. It's a great skill. Bumblebees also live underground. Isn't that interesting? Earthship. Yes. You're right. Isn't that interesting? That's an underground thing. And then I'll play David Bowie's Underground a couple of times, and maybe David will tell me. Maybe David will stop by and tell me about it. Yes, because we know that there are all kinds of things that are underground, including earthships are partly underground. A lot of sustainable housing is partly underground. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, honeybees won't sting you unless they're really provoked. They're actually pretty docile. So, it's like when I see one of them, I just tell people to chill because people be freaking, oh my God, it's a bee. Oh my God, it's a bee. It's like, just, it's, it's a bumblebee. Just don't piss it off and you'll be fine. Now, the middle card is interesting because the armadillo says boundaries. And in this case, what does that mean? Because it's on top of advancement, the war bonnet advancement. But the armadillo card is about setting boundaries. Something's trying to come to me. Setting boundaries, having boundaries, and of course being protected. They roll up in a sort of an armored ball. Huh. Well, it looks like probably this comes to me maybe when I hit 65. And let's see, is there any more clues on here? Um, yeah, the armadillo is about boundaries and knowing how to set boundaries. Or maybe it has to do with the boundaries of an estate or something, or a plot of land or something like that. And the cards are right. Okay, cool. Bees. Bees and you get along. Yes, me too. Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody really likes wasps. Um, but me and the bees, I always had a special relationship with them. And actually, my great grandfather, I hear he was a beekeeper. So it may be partly due to his influence. But in my garden, in my home, back when I had a house, I had a very good relationship with the bees, and they helped me grow things way bigger. I had a magical garden, and everything grew way bigger than you'd expect it to, and way more abundantly. And it's true. You can do that even in a city on a little postage stamp piece of land. If you get in touch with nature and the nature spirits, they will help you grow anything you want. Which is why I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I ordered some symphytum seeds. That's comfrey. I'm going to put them out in some of the wooded areas around here. That it's not my backyard, but it's really nobody's backyard. And they don't spray. So getting some helpful plants started, even though it's not in a garden, would probably be a boon. And when nobody was looking, I could go and harvest forage for them. So that's kind of what I'm thinking along those lines. But I once charmed bees. Bees were trying to build in the siding of my house, and my ex was allergic, so he was afraid and going to call an exterminator. And I would have demanded that he call if I'd known about him, somebody to come and get the bees and take them. But I didn't know of that. I hadn't heard of that. So I talked to him. And I talked to him. I said, look, we've got a shed back there. You can be just as comfortable in there, but you can't stay here because you're scaring my husband and he's going to call an exterminator. And that means that you guys would die. And I wouldn't want that. So will you please go to the back shed where we don't use it. And you can just have it and you can live there. And I would be glad if you did because I don't want anything to happen to you. And I just sent them a lot of love because I did love them. They were like pets. They were like my little helpers. I could put my hands down into them and pick grapes right alongside them. And I would even tell them, these grapes are mine. And I would kind of wave them over to another set of grapes and they'd go over. I say, you guys, you eat those over there. These here are mine. And they would move and go where I told them to. They were almost like pets, you know? They're such sweet little beings. As long as you don't get them, I mean, don't tweak their instinct. That's it with every animal. Don't tweak their instinct and you're safe. I mean, they have an instinct. If I would have crushed one, that that probably would have done it. But I was very careful and gentle with them. So, but yes, I have a special relationship with the bees and I like them. Getting stung is good for your immune system. Well, that's good to know. Bees, let's see. Armadillos are abundant in Texas. That's true. So Texas could be a possibility. That's true, Denali. Out west, maybe somewhere out west. You might be talking about somewhere out west. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, I probably will be moving. And probably find the answer on the internet as to where that exactly is going to be. And I should prepare now. I should start definitely preparing in the summer. And actually, maybe, now this is interesting, because the squirrel down here in the summer is also Kent, the totem of Kent, where I live right now. It is our totem animal. Our mascot is the squirrel, the black squirrel to be precise. I'm sure you Canadians know about black squirrels. They're a little more aggressive than our native squirrels. And they weren't here. They're not native to this area. They were brought here. So the squirrel is telling me this summer here in Kent, but maybe beyond summer, something else happens. Because it looks like the impossible thing that science doesn't understand, the bee incident, comes up maybe in the winter, maybe in the winter. But this is also the place of the home and the elder. So, and the center card is about me. So, or the center of the situation. So I think the armadillo also represents the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for shelter. I'm looking for clear boundaries. I'm looking for a way to get through these years that is not harmful for me or the environment. You know, it's a natural protection of all the stuff that's going to happen. Because even once we get through this event, there's still going to be some stuff to get through. There's going to be a lot of mop up. And that's probably part of what we're going to be doing. One thing I do want to say is that some of us are going to be needed here to help the people that are here after this world altering event. People are going to need help. Somebody's going to need to help. Somebody's going to need to be there so that they can, to ask questions of, because there's going to be quite a lot of questions. So I would say for all of us, be prepared. There's going to be at least 2 weeks, probably. I'm guessing about 2 weeks of weirdness. maybe food shortages, maybe rolling blackouts, maybe get some kind of generator, backup generator, maybe get some solar stuff so you can at least have lights or charger. I got a solar power bank with like four solar panels attached to it for I only spent about 25, $30. You can get them on Amazon, real cheap right now. Maybe get a few things like that to keep your phone working so that you can still, if we still have a phone system. I think we will, though. You know what I think? I think the reason it's taken so long and there's been so many starts and stops is because the good guys involved are trying to make it the least disruptive as they can, the least hard on us as we can. Because think about it, um, they're not trying to hurt us. Oh my gosh, one of my wishes came true just now. Did anybody notice? Oh, never mind. I'll talk about it at some point. Okay. Okay. Avoid bees, hornets, and wasps. She would deal with them without protection. Yeah, I can. Yeah, but they enjoy attacking you somehow. Boy, I'm sorry to hear that, Black. Denali says squirrel represents playfulness and having fun too. Yes. Yes, because squirrels have a lot of fun. That's true. Being prepared. They store away for winter, which I do. That's a prepper card for me, but it also is fun. A fun card, a card of a little fun animal that plays a lot. Oh, yeah, maybe Max. Oh, maybe Black. Oh, maybe. Could be, yeah. A protector when it comes to energy. Well, that's good to know. That's right. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Yes. And I've been manifesting things pretty fast. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm pretty satisfied with this reading, actually. And I'm content to wait and see and uh, see. I'm getting chills, though. I gotta say, I am getting chills. So there is something going on. Oh, another thing I gotta tell you. For those of you who hadn't heard me say this before, I have been saying on my channel that Mr. T, that Donald, the Don, he's been doing something behind the scenes, underground kind of stuff. Not in the public eye, but here's something that somebody noticed that I didn't notice at first. JB was supposed to give a State of the Union address by a certain date, and he did not give it by that date. That is something the president is supposed to do. However, on the very last day of the date, and I forget what the date was supposed to be, was it February 14th or something? Donald Trump did give what would amount to a State of the Union address. And I find that interesting. And my pendulum says he's doing a lot behind the scenes that we're not privy to, we're not seeing. There's also the idea, and I'm quite sure of this, he has doubles. And his doubles will be doing his speaking engagements because it's dangerous for him. Hmm. Is my coworker Carrie under spiritual attack? Okay, let me get my pendulum. Where did I put my pen? By the way, I need a new abalone shell. My abalone shell fell off and broke, so it must be time for something new to be used. For a new abalone shell. Either that or this one to be modified in some way. So anyway, let me see. Let me calibrate. Let me make sure that it's going. You ready to work? Okay. And let me see. Okay, let's test it. My cat's name is Annabelle. No. Okay. I read the animal medicine cards and the sacred path cards. That's one of the things that I do. Yes. Okay. So it's calibrated, just making sure. Okay, so let me see. Is Louis Ta's co-worker Carrie under spiritual attack? Wow. Well, it's revving up, but it's going in a counterclockwise circle, which means you need to rephrase that question. It cannot answer the question as it is presented. So, can you please refrain? How about if we ask this first? Stop. Are Carrie, who's Ta's co-worker, her stomach issues, are they a spiritual attack of some sort? Yes. Seems to think so, yes. My pendulum thinks she is. I wasn't getting it either. I was about to say, no, I don't think so, but my pendulum thinks she is. Okay, let me see. Is this something she can clear? I mean, is this a spiritual attack like another person? Is this from another person? Like a person should. And now it's swinging. No, that's the wrong question. Because I'm getting maybe there's something else going on here. Okay, is it some kind of imbalance type situation? That kind of a spiritual attack. Like not from a person, but a imbalance. Like a heart attack isn't really an attack from anybody, it's just an attack. It's just, they call it an attack. Okay. There's some kind of imbalance causing it. It's not like, okay, just to be sure, is somebody or something spiritually attacking her, Carrie? No. So what you mean is she's having attacks that are reacting to some form of energy. Is she around EMFs a lot or Wi-Fi? Could it be that? Are you sure there's nothing else in her environment? A spiritual attack could be let me see. Interesting. That's a good thought, Denali. Is she attacking herself like an autoimmune? Oh my gosh. Denali, that's it. That's it. Somehow, this is something she's doing to herself, sort of like an autoimmune disease, sort of like a spiritual autoimmune disease. Isn't that interesting? So, is she doing something that would bring this onto herself? That's the thing to ask. Okay, so is this some practice of hers that she has brought this? Maybe it magnetized it and it's swinging very, very, yeah. She has somehow magnetized this to her. And I think I might be getting that she is making herself so she's, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me get the words out here. It looks like perhaps she is so anti and against something that she's made herself a polar match to it, which can happen. I mean, sometimes you are so no, 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 that by being that way, you can back so far up that you're at the beginning of the circle again and you back right into it. Um, it looks like is that a good analogy? Yeah. Something she's so anti that she ended up backing herself right up into it. So you might want to look at what that is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if that's what's on her mind all the time, she could be magnetizing something like that to her. See, now this is a principle I really want to bring up with you. Whatever you do, you're very powerful. Remember, you're creators, you're divine. It's very important what you think about. Allowing yourself to think about certain things, you're manifestors. Don't, okay, I'm going to say garbage in, garbage out. Okay, you read me? Garbage in, garbage out, folks. Don't allow your mind to be cluttered with garbage in order to not draw it to you. I've done this. I certainly have done this to myself, things to myself. Realized later I put a spell on myself by thinking too much about it. And by thinking, and really, as far as I can tell, this is the way the dark hats operate, is not so much by what they're doing to us, but we're the creators here. We're the really creative ones. Put doubt in your mind. Do stuff to make you kind of nervous and doubtful and doubt yourself. And your mind will come up with all kinds of things. They don't have to come up with anything. You can make your own disasters. You're very good at it, and so am I. We also make our own victories. So this is something she needs to look at. Whatever it is that's bothering her so much, she needs to make sure that she's not soaking herself in that so much that she is manifesting it. Because where your attention goes, the energy flows, just like the old saw. Ah, right. Right. Oh, well, there you go. And we already know what's going on with that. Yeah. So this is something she's somehow bringing on herself. Like I said, it's not like I haven't done it. A lot of us have done it. Well, and here's the thought too. A lot of, okay, and this was another reader that got this, that actually, when that our 2-strand DNA instead of 12-strand, that we actually were led to create that. And I'm getting that they couldn't do it. They really couldn't do that. But they got us to do it by believing erroneous things. If this is true, how they would do it would be by getting us to believe that we somehow needed to do it. Because that's how they operate. Because they're lazy ass, for one thing. They don't want to do any of their own work when they can get you to do their work. Why should they? We're the creators, right? And this is what they always do. They always want us to create our own demise. They always want us to create our own problems. And I'm not blaming you. It's very pervasive. It's very convincing. And they can tell a really good story, a really scary story. Yeah. But you do control what goes through your mind. And if somehow you can't, you need to work on that. You need to find help with that. And there are a lot more helps online than there used to be. Now there are actually um, you can go on YouTube and find things to play that will calm you down, that will make you believe in yourself, that will help you release negative thoughts, negative karma, put better images in your head, have a better self-image, have feel more worthy, and all that. The biggest, most pervasive problem we really have in the true demic is low self-worth and self-esteem. And a lot of people who don't appear to have that actually do, and what the stuff they're doing is to bolster that low self-esteem because they don't like feeling that way. Nobody really does. So if you look at it that way, okay, realize that you are divine. That's why I tell you every time on this show, you are divine. You manifest, you make things. You are the creators, you and me. We're the creators. We are. Therefore, if you're scaring yourself to death every night before you go to bed, guess what you're going to have? Probably. I mean, if you're a creator and what's I just learned, oh, pardon me. I'm going to have to get off pretty soon, I guess. Yeah, we've been on almost 2 hours, and I pretty much call it quits after 2 hours. Most of the time, unless we have. It's my time to have a pollen problem, by the way, spring. So that's what you're hearing here. I could probably get rid of it if I probably manifest an end to that. And maybe I will. Um, skipping work, making bogus stories. Right. Yes, that's true. Karma's happening fast too. Yeah, you can also become what you hate by trying to step away from what you hate so much that you become what you hate. Another thing people do is project. And one of the ways I could always tell what somebody else was doing was by looking at I mean, what they were accusing me of. That's what they were doing. Oh, every time. Just every freaking time. I was right. My ex-husband used to use me for that all the time. He'd say, when to get where wanted to go in his job, he'd say, what are these people doing? And I say, well, what do they say you're doing? He said, well, then that's what they're doing, and this is how they're doing it. And I would see when he would tell me, it's like I could see what they were doing then. I could see it because they were, in effect, telling him, by accusing him, they were telling him what they were in fact doing. And it's over and over. That's the way people are. They will project it onto somebody else. Right. Yes, do your shadow work, clear your karma. This doesn't mean you have to eat brown rice and sit in a cave for 20 years, thinking only thoughts of love. I guess it could happen that way, but do your shadow work. Uh, Try and clear it up before this summer. And remember, when things really start to rock and roll, remember that I'm telling you this is going to happen and that it's not real. It's part of the display. It's going to be pretty scary. I'm probably even going to have my moments. You know, I had my moments when I was looking and when I was trying to feel through it. I'm like, holy cow, I don't know if I want to live through, but it will be worth it. It will be worth it. It's what we've been asking for all this time. So we should be cheering and having parties right now, saying, "Yay, it's it's coming." That would probably hasten it. Because the higher the vibe that you can get yourself into right now, the better off you'll be. The happier you can make yourself, however that is done. I don't judge. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you know, or causing harm to the earth or whatever. I mean, as long as you're not being a total knucklehead, idiot, whatever makes you happy is going to help. And by helping yourself, you do help the earth and other people around you. You do help the earth. You help the collective energy of the planet rise. So, yeah, if you listen, they'll tell you everything about who they are by what they say about everybody else, right? Uh, Generally, I don't talk a lot about my detractors. I kind of let them speak for themselves. You know me. Once you know me, you pretty much can look at what other people say and say bullshit, you know, what other people might be saying. Thing is, people who don't know me yet maybe might be fooled, but most people who know me, who actually know me, yeah, they know. No, they're not going to be fooled. Yeah, honestly, let others be happy in their way. Just yeah, this is the whole thing. This whole lockdown and control thing. Oops, I said the word. That whole thing. People have to be self-governing. And you can tell me that we can't do it. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. And it's not strictly because we don't want to go in the pen. You know, we're not all good and nice and decent people just because we don't want to go to the pen. There's all kinds of other reasons we do things, but it's not just all a matter. And you know what? Somebody was saying, I'm not going to say where I saw this, but somebody was trying to say, why should ETs help us for no reason? I mean, would you go down and help if you knew about a homeless person downtown? Would you go down and help the homeless person downtown unless, and he was putting it in terms of, but what's in it for you? Would you just do that? Actually, I know a lot of people who do that. They actually do that. Just goes to show he's a more sciencey type person, though. Just trying to look at it from the sciencey. He looks at things from the sciencey, and this is why I'm probably not going to. I'm probably not going to re-up for that channel. Because I supported them once because I saw them as sort of colleagues, but I'm probably not going to this next time because I think we have a better beat on what's going on than they do. And we can do our own remote viewing. And it's one of the reasons why you haven't heard me talking about it very much. It was interesting. Some of their work is good. Some of the newer people they have. But I'm not going to go into it too much, but really the way that they see things and the way they interpret things, that's part of the issue, is there needs to be enlightenment along with this gift of being able. That's not so, I guess you can look at it as a gift or a natural ability. It's both, actually. So, yes. Oh, well, Black Dragon, yes. Well, you seem like a very interesting person, too. Yes. Yes, Denali. People will actually risk their lives to help animals out of a ditch. Flowing with water, a drowning animal. They'll. There's plenty of reasons besides just gain. You know, just material gain or some other gain. And in the same chat, we started talking about the soul traps and stuff that are talked about. I said, well, I'm one of the people that makes sure that people get to cross over and make it to the other side safely. It's one of the things I do, is make sure people get to the other side safely, just to avoid anything like that. And somebody said, thank you very much for that, because I don't charge for that. I don't get anything out of it, but knowing that it was the right thing to do. There are plenty of beings in the universe like that. There has to be, because we're like that. So obviously, we can't be the only beings in the whole universe that are like that. That's one point I would make. We see in videos UFOs interfering with missiles. That would be one of the best things to happen if they attempt to nuke people. Yes. I even said something to that effect once. Is that what it's going to take to wake people the heck up and turn people the heck around. Wouldn't it be worth it? That kind of scare, that kind of scare would kind of fit. That would be a boom, maybe, or an anticipation of a boom and a complete cataclysm. But yeah, there are actually, that's not just to save us because they're blowing holes. We have seen, I have seen, and Micah could see it too. Others have seen the rents, the holes, the tears they make in the veil, in the partitions between this world and another world, between this reality and another reality. And there are consequences to that. They're affecting other dimensions with that stuff, and I think it's completely intentional. I think that's what they're trying to do, to make as much confusion as possible. So yeah, I don't believe that's going to be allowed to happen. So if that starts to happen, and it might, if that looks like it's going to happen, don't you believe it. Don't you believe it. Stay strong. It's not going to be what it looks like. Another thing is, Putin is not as crazy as they will try to make you think. He is not. If he won't let GMO foods into his country, and they don't use glyphosate, and so many other things, how evil is that? And there are some indications of such extreme corruption in the Ukraine that actually, and this involved the very things that DT was working on getting rid of. And you know what that was? That was like one of the gate, oh my God, gay things. Freaking bloody, oh, excuse me. Who has a name like that? Gil Bates? Guy whose name rhymed with Phil Bates or something? Doesn't he have a name kind of involving that? Oh, like a certain Italian food gate type stuff. Trafficking. Traffic. Yeah. Well, it goes through to other dimensions, John. This is what they have said. It affects more than just us, our dimension. And the other shamans have reported, there are a lot of different groups that tell me things. I get intel from a lot of different groups. And the shamans are telling me that, yes, they've had a problem with creatures that seem to be from somewhere else. We have also heard a lot of cryptid stories about creatures that don't seem to be from here and now. This could be because of the rents in these veils. We have seen them. I've seen them. Micah's seen them. Micah was sewing them up. Micah was repairing them. And we can repair those. Those can be repaired. They're like a membrane between here and something else, another reality. I know this is hard to understand visual, but just visualize it, or maybe you can think of it as partitions in your computer. When you put something, when you have an antivirus program and you put something in the antivirus program, a virus in there, then it partitions it off from the rest of your computer. It's kind of like that. You could see it like that. Or you could see it as the fascia that surrounds, the fascia surrounds all your organs so that they're separate organs and they don't all mix together. That's solved with fascia. Now, if something happens with your fascia, then your organs can kind of slop out of there and it's not good. You don't want this organ mixed with that organ, right? You want them all to be separate, doing their own little job. That's the way it is. So it's kind of like that, if you can imagine it. Let's see. And Denali says she got during an RV. He is pissed they won't let him join the group, so he's going to F with them any way he possibly can to disrupt their agenda. By who, we mean who? Who are we talking? Okay, I got questions coming in that I don't really understand. The one who got kicked out of the banking system years ago and is playing the long game like they are playing. He has read The Art of War, of course. Of course. Yeah. I don't get, as a matter of fact, I even get that Putin may be, at this point, a white hat. Whether he always was, I couldn't tell you. But I keep getting the feeling Putin is actually a white hat. I don't know. Other people have gotten it too. Somehow he's actually a white hat. He's not crazy. He's not going to be the one to order a bomb to drop. No, isn't going to happen. Although they may try to make it look like that. I don't know. But if the white hats really are in control, why would they even allow this to happen? To wake people the F up, just like I said. I said that so many years ago, way over 20 years ago. I said, is that what it would take to wake people the F up? And wouldn't it be worth it? It would be a horrific threat. It might be. It might be the threat that finally wakes everybody up. I don't know. That would definitely be going out with a bang, wouldn't it? And then it looks like things are about to happen, and then all of a sudden you find you're outside of the simulation, and hey, that was a heck of a ride. Yes. Well, some of them may have to be white hats now. Some of them may have been given a choice, you know. Yeah, uranium for the nukes. I'd rather have geraniums than uranium any day. Geraniums are much prettier and a lot less destructive. Well, John, if you really want to help, try imagining a world where we don't have leaders that are corrupt. I know it's going to be difficult. I know how difficult it's going to be. You are a creator and you are divine. And if you can imagine it in your head, it can become fact. And I don't care who it is. If they're good people, whoever they are, that's okay with me. If they are going to do the right thing, I don't care who they are. But people have changed heart, have had a change. You know what? People can change evil. I've watched people change to evil. And if they can change to evil, they can change to good. I've seen people turn evil in front of my eyes. People that were formerly an entirely different person. And not only that, but here, think about this for a minute. Putin's got, they say, maybe 4 or 5 doubles, and he's had them for a while. And so does Trump. He's got more than one double. And I've confirmed that. Yeah, they all do. Everybody's got doubles now. And whether you believe they're clones or actors or whatever they are, or even androids, They've got more than one. Okay. And what if something would happen? And we've got stories like this. What if something would happen to the evil guy and all that's left is one of the impersonators, and the impersonator is actually a good guy, and they have to put him out in front of the public to avoid losing face and losing the whole country. So they put that guy in charge under the auspices that this is him, and actually it's somebody who's not evil. I mean, it's very far fetched, but hey, we've seen the story. The story exists. It's not impossible. Yeah, Putin is less demonic than some people. Well, it's better than some. I keep saying we can't depend on any savior guy to come along and save us. Whoever is doing us good, I wish them well and I send them energy, angels, and whatever support they need in the energetic realms. And we won't know until it's over, for sure, because they certainly keep it hidden. But yeah, right. And I see that, Max. I've been saying that too at almost every show. And I'm seeing it. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And I will say it again. I've said it on my shows. Not one thing, not one thing that the dark side ever does will ever work the way they want it to ever again. Ever. We're past that point now. And I feel that very strongly. We are past that point. Not one dark plan will go the way they want it to go. If we wanted to, we could imagine them as having never been. But then, if we would imagine that, we wouldn't have learned anything, would we? Because you see, through this all, we probably were supposed to have been learning something. That's probably why it was allowed to happen in the first place. And what exactly we were learning is something to contemplate. Because here's a thought: without a concept of separateness, you cannot have compassion. Think about it. Somebody else brought this up, actually. How would you ever develop compassion if there wasn't a feeling of separation? Couldn't be done. There's so many lessons we learn from this. And think in soul terms. Your higher self, to your higher self, the big, big, big being that this little tiny Avi represents, every every learning is good. Every experience is good. You're learning something. To us, it's like, I don't want this. I don't want to feel this, but yes. Yeah. Nobody is gonna be that guy but us. That's us. We are the cavalry. We're the cavalry riding over the hill, coming to save us. That's us. Okay? Or fractals of us. Um, there are family members. I'll still say this. There are family members, and they are our stellar families, are coming to back us up. But once again, what I've always said is, the message I've always got is, you have to stand up for yourself. And that's part of the armadillo card too, is standing up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to be the instigators of all this. We're not going to do it for you. What what would you learn if we just did everything for you? You have to do this for yourselves, and then we'll back you up on it. And this is almost like a parent would do to a kid. What do? Give them training wheels? Do you keep holding on to that seat forever? Or you let them go and try it, and you let them fall down sometimes. But they got to want. If you try to get them to do something that they don't want to do, you know what that's like. No, it's never going to be the same. And what I find with people so often is, this is another thing. People got to think it's their idea. I can't convince, if I try to convince somebody of anything and they're dead set against it, or even if, like, okay, so many times when I'm trying to affect a healing of some sort, and person has been searching for years, and sometimes for years, this Paul, my friend Paul, was saying the same darn thing. He sees the same. For years, you'll be telling them, this is what you need to do, darling. Well, maybe you could try this. And they will always have a reason why they can't do that, or they'll just flat out ignore you or not hear you or not be able to hear you. That's not always intentional. But they'll have selective hearing, okay, until they're ready. But at some point, if you do a clearing, at some point, they will wake up and figure it out, and then they will act like it was all their idea, and they just came along this information. Wonder why they never thought of it before. You've been telling them only for 20 years. But see, they were pushing back because they wanted to be right. Because for some reason, people want to be right more than they want to be well. Weird. Yeah, it's all around the world. Yeah, we need to take action. It's absolutely necessary. Then the others will come in, I promise you. They've done it for me millions of times. Then they'll come in and help you. But you have to take the initial action. You have to get the plan together, start down that road, and they'll be right behind you, backing you up. That's what I'm getting. Our star brothers and sisters, yeah, they're going to help, but they're not going to do it for us. They're not going to do it for us. You know, because if they do it for us, they might even start a new religion. That's the last thing they want. That may even be how some of them started in the first place. If somebody came along and did it for us. And then they started worshiping the person, which really, to any higher enlightened being, is kind of antithetical. You don't want that. You want to be worshipped. It's really kind of annoying. You've got other stuff to do besides sit around and be worshipped. Not that even that much fun. Yeah, Dark Force is in a panic mode. Yeah, I got that for a long time. And the more they panic, the stupider they get. Globalists are back after the farmers and government plus vax. I know. Here they come again, the idiots. And it's the death throes. how they fight. How hard do dying creatures fight to live? Shh, I'm sorry, but they're going down. They're going down. I'm not sorry though. No, I'm not really sorry. And remember, when it happens, they made their choice. Everybody's made a choice. By now, what I really get is everybody's made a choice. People have made their choices. What side of this am I on? Maybe some will still jump ship and go to the other side, but people have pretty much made their choices. Am I going to be under someone's thumb or am I going to be sovereign? Am I going to be on this side? Am I going to be on that side? Am I going to, uh, you know, it's just remember that some people are not able to break out of the programming. They've been too hypnotized. I've seen that. It's not their fault. It's really not their fault. One of the reasons I've avoided TV, I don't want to be programmed. I don't watch, I've said this. I don't watch programming because I don't want to be programmed. You know who really has the worst problem with reality is the people who watch TV. And I try and tell them something that goes against the party line, and they can't handle it. No, Cowboy says hello, by the way. He says I've been streaming too long and I should go back to petting the cat soon. Okay, let me pet you a little bit right now, baby cake. Mr. Cowboy, Mr. Handsome Boy. Yes, you are such a handsome little guy. He doesn't come up here. You only get to mew. You don't get to look at him. You just get to hear him. Hey, Embers, Paraworld, how you doing? We got rid of TV almost 3 years ago. Mine has been years now. I don't even know how many years. Yeah, people have been programmed to have everybody else do things for them. See, that's the problem. And when they're scared enough, they'll abdicate all the responsibility to somebody else because they don't want to be responsible. This is why all of the campaigns to frighten people half to death. You know, no matter whether it takes a form of, well, no matter what form it takes, scaring you to death is the thing. You know, really, when you're afraid, you have a whole bunch of things go on in your body physically from your emotional state of fear. Your fight or flight activates. You can't digest your food well. You don't think right. Blood goes to your head and your feet and doesn't really go to your other organs where you need it. All kinds of things happen when you're afraid all the time. And boy, do I know because I spent years being afraid. Probably why I had so much trouble. I mean, I'm trying to repair all that now. So many things happened that were terrifying to me. And even though sometimes you get kind of numb, you still have feelings. They still kind of creep in around the edges. So I was in terror for a long time. And I think that's why my health broke down. Probably at least part of it. Did anybody have to actually physically do? Oh, maybe they did, or maybe it was just my own, uh, you know, although I know I was poisoned a few times, more than once. One time, at least one time with insecticide, but that's another story. I don't want to go into those times. I don't want to think about them or remember them. I've been through it. It's part of my shadow past. And, you know, I face it and I look at it and I say, you know, I'm through it now. Yeah. And actually, if you think about all that you've been through, you've been prepared for these times, haven't you? Think about it. You've been prepared for these times. All of the stuff that's happened to you, you were developing the skills to be able to live through these times. And so you will. You shall. And you will be a light unto others. There will probably be people asking you for your advice and help. And when it happens, please be generous because realize that all of this stuff that happens is only temporary. No matter how scary it looks, it's only temporary. It's all a show. After the show, we will wake up on a fine summer day with fluffy white, non streaky clouds in the sky in a perfectly safe area and realize that we were never in danger. Our immortal souls are immortal and you cannot kill them. Okay, you can't destroy them. Sorry. Sorry about your luck. Nice try. You know, you could create that illusion, but it's not real. Yeah. Greta was involved. Oh, yeah. In the protests. Of course. Of course. Of course. They use her. They use her. Yeah, mind control, fear, hate, dread, low self esteem, feelings of worthlessness, need for belonging. Our emotions have been used against us. And your emotions are precious. And it's not a sickness, people. It is something that we can use to make things happen. Our emotions are part of how we create. Mind boggling? Far from being useless or in the way or some other crap. Our emotions are actually part of how we create things. Part of our creatorhood. That's why we're powerful creators. It's a vibration. And you can use your emotions to tell where you are. It's like an altimeter on a plane. Where am I? If I'm flying too low, I'm feeling depression. I'm feeling fear. Actually, it's interesting. Some of them that we think of, it's not the way we think of them. I was taught this a long time ago. One of my teachers, she used the idea of an altimeter on a plane as far as vibration. And she said, we've got to quit looking at emotions as positive or negative, but only as vibrations. Like some are higher vibration than others. A low vibration doesn't get you very far, right? It's only going to bring you low vibration stuff. The higher up you go, the more the vibration rises, the better things come to you. So if you can keep it low, then we stay within reach of evil because evil vibrates low. So, if we vibrate high, we vibrate out of their reach. Right, the lily wave. I know you were talking about that. Exactly. Exactly. Right. The lily wave tool. Yeah. Yeah, radiation can alter your mood. A lot of things can alter what you eat, what's in your food. Definitely mood altering. We know that. We know that for a fact. We've always known that, haven't we? Mhm. Sure we have. We've always known. Chocolate makes you feel like you're in love. Hey, if you need a piece of chocolate, and let me tell you guys, you married men probably already know this, never stand between a woman and her chocolate when she needs chocolate. Never. Don't do it. And if you value your life, don't stand between a woman and her chocolates. Aye, laddie, you be taking your own life. You be doing it to yourself if she killed you. But I don't know where that came from. Don't even ask me. What the heck was that? What did I just do? But yeah, it's like when I need chocolate, and I don't need it that much anymore because I'm off of sugar and I've been off of wheat for a while now. But I'm off of sugar. I refine. I don't really, I don't really feel that need as much as I did. You know what? I'm getting signs that I have to rest because I told them, you don't have to hurt me to knock me out to work on me. If you want me to go do something or want to work on me, just let, and I start to get sleepy, I won't fight. You don't have to hurt me because they were teasing me, kind of saying, oh, the things we have to do to get you to stay still, the things we have to let happen to get you to stay still. Getting sick, you know, having a torn rotator cuff, just to get me to stay the still so that they can work on me some other job. So I'm going to have to get off pretty soon because I'm kind of fighting it now, and I don't want to. I don't want to do that for very much longer. Um, yeah. Well. Oh, the evils of trying to keep chocolate away from female. Yeah. Um. Yes, that dark side, dark chocolate side wants. Actually, I have some dark chocolate hummus in there. I haven't had a proper meal yet today. I'm intermittent fasting. Um, I had a glass of milk way early in the morning. Yeah, I just was a gurgling. I knew my stomach was telling me, and yeah. But yeah, it's probably about time that I should think about. Maybe I'll just go till tomorrow, not eating. Probably, yeah. I'll probably just go till tomorrow and not eating. Wait till tomorrow. Um, Sometimes I do that. I put it off. So anyway, guys, it's fun to be with you. I love being with you guys. I think I'm going to close it off because we've been over 2 hours now. We're now into 2.5 hours. And I'm getting some signs that I need to rest and should go somewhere and stay still for a while so they can work on me. Um, and really wonderful things have been happening since I've been doing the uh, intermittent fasting, the and sometimes fasting for a couple or 3 or 4 or 5 days at a time, and staying off the refined sugar and the wheat. It's so far totally worth it. So I think I'm onto something here, and I've been thinking it for years, but I didn't know if I could really stick to it. I'm still not even sure if I can really stick to it, but we'll see. I'm gonna try. So, um, yeah, dark chocolate hummus with organic strawberries. The funny thing is, I know I love that, but I'm not hungry right now. So I think I'll pass it by until tomorrow. Okay, much love to you. class. Or, wait, was this a class? Maybe it was. I don't know. Jeez. Much love to all of you, creators, divine beings. Beings. Remember, you're the beings that run these little avatar bodies. You are not the body. You are the being that runs the body. You are divine. You use these bodies to express yourself. That's what it's for. You had a reason to be here in the body you're in. Try and seek what reason that is before you make any changes. Okay. Yeah. Once again, I love you guys. It's always wonderful to be with you. And the truth is where you find it. And most of the time, it's right in front of your eyes. And you'll see it when you're ready to see it. I'll see you in other chats. Take care.